This was like 1994 maybe. And I got on, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, but we got in this chat room, and this girl started flirting with us, and we're sitting there like, what the heck is going on here? What is this? And she said some things. I'm like, oh my gosh, we gotta eject. We gotta push eject to get out of this room. This is terrible. And but that was my first internet experience. And then I just got like, man, when I figured out you could take data and I could sit at my house, build an app at my house on my computer, host it on my Comcast internet connection, and somebody across Nashville, Tennessee that I've never met could actually put data into that application and then share it back to me, and I could put it up on a website. Man, I was hooked. Once I saw that, I was like, man, this is the craziest thing. This is awesome. And I just basically said, I'm not going to be in engineering. I'm going full in on the web. And, it was a few years after that. I think I built a few little small, stupid little apps. The only reason Dave Ramsey hired me is because I asked for 35 grand and everybody else was asking for 50. and that was how I got in the door at Ramsey's office in 2001, and then you see everything just developing over time. And, innovation, probably the coolest thing. It's a little bit off topic, but, what feels like today with AI feels like what it felt like back in, like 1998 when everybody was like, what is this? What is this internet thing? And, AI is just so ridiculously powerful. You're talking about editing your website, your podcast. I use a tool called Riverside FM, and they just implemented like AI editing. It's like I go in after I record it and they auto edit it. I need to go check it, but I just noticed they were doing that, and I haven't done a lot of podcasting this year. But now everything I need is actually done by the AI before I even log back in. I just, the file's there, go back, check it out. And I'll have to see how good of a quality it is. But when you talk about
how do they edit? What do you mean they edit it?
The AI just goes in like usually you have to go in. The first thing they did a couple of years ago, at least when I was there, is it would transcribe the audio, and then you could go look at a visual version, like a written version, and you could just delete words out. Like you just say, pull out the uhs. I don't like the way this is said. Delete that, delete this, whatever. And you just hand edit the whole thing, and it just rips it right out of the audio. But you're visually editing it instead of having to watch everything. So it was much more expedited. Now what they do is it edits the video, edits the audio. It even puts together its own little clips. Like you put me and you together on top of each other in a short format, just like a reel, and it's already pre-cut. Now, some of those are not as good as if you hand edit them, but right. I imagine it's just going to keep getting better and better as the thing gets smarter. But it just saves me a lot of time,
StreamYard does the same thing now.
Oh, cool.
Cut it up in shorts. They'll do a lot. But I created an app where I can drop my MP4 in it, and it edits it. It edits the sound. It does everything. It cuts it up. It does everything. It makes a thumbnail. You name it. So
yeah, you're ahead of me. You're a little bit ahead of me, man. I got a little.
No, I did it because people came to me they want me to do a podcasting course, and I found out that with podcasts, 90% of podcasts fell before episode 3. What's left over, the 10% left over, 90% of that fails by episode 20. So if you get to 21, you're in the top 1% of all podcasts.
So what does failure mean? Is that just quit? They just quit?
They're done. Yeah, whatever reason. One of the reasons is, as you know, to do it, you have to, even if it edits it for you, someone's still got to put it up to wherever you're putting it to send it out to the podcast. And I have mine set to distribute whatever way you want it to once you set it up. Like if you want it on Tuesdays, you drop it in the top of the funnel, it goes all the way through, and it's done, and it's distributed for you at the end. That's the biggest thing.